podcast called Jellison Podcast.
He probably doesn't remember this at all.
Yeah, report together. It's easy.
This is kind of real. Like, holy shit.
And so it's really cool to get to be a part of that.
Hey, you know how it is, bro. Hey, when
you now tune into the biggest ever.
We're not here just to take part. We're here to take over.
I don't remember that. That's crazy.
What's up, everyone? We're back with episode 135 of the Jellison Podcast. Today, very special guest, Purdue wide receiver, MVP of the Music City Bowl, Broc Thompson. Broc, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm great. Just doing this nice Friday afternoon, sitting here with my puppy Kona, just looking outside, just checking out the weather.
Cold as hell out here, man.
It is very cold. That's one thing about Indiana. The weather is very unpredictable. You might wake up and it's like 10 degrees in the morning and it's like 72 at like 5. So yeah, it's very unpredictable.
Yeah. First of all, how are the knees doing right now? Obviously.
So actually, it's not my knee. Well, so my right knee, I tore my meniscus, and it's not my other knee. It's my tibia on both legs. So I'm not 1,000% sure I have to get surgery on my left tibia yet. We're still talking about that, trying to see x-rays, just see if like I really need the surgery on the other leg, but that's still up for debate. But on my right leg, I'm getting a rod taken out of my right leg because I already have a rod in there from Marshall. I got surgery there. So they're taking that rod out and they're putting a bigger one in, and then they're like doing some reconstruction on my right meniscus. Yeah, it's a lot, man. It's definitely a lot. This season has been, it's been tough, but I feel like sports in general, any sport, is about persevering. I don't think you'll ever play the game of football like 100% healthy. I think all athletes deal with some type of niche bruise, like something that's not feeling right. Like not even just football, basketball, any sport, because it's physically demanding on your body. We get days off, but like when it's during season time, you play every weekend. So like, and then you got practice on top of that. So yeah, it's physically demanding. So, but like I said, it's all about persevering. I'm glad I made it through the whole season.
Yeah, man. I mean, that I didn't know it was your tibia, like you mentioned. That makes your performance in the Music City Bowl even that much more impressive. Are you dealing with like microfractures or something?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So it's just over time. I've been playing all sports, since I was probably like 6. So just me playing, over time, your bones got a little weaker. So they've helped me out with that. Our training staff has been amazing. Our nutritionists, my weight room coaches, they've all been amazing with it. My coaches, like limiting the reps in practice, it was hard, because me personally, like I like practice because I get to work on things that I want to implement to my game that week. Like I like to switch things up, keep people guessing, because I feel like those are what the most dominant receivers do in this game. Like they throw a lot of things at you and then you never know what's coming. So like it's always, I feel like it's a game of chess. So it was difficult because I would only practice like once a week, like that, and that was all I could do, because if I practiced more, I was more at risk to fracture my leg, not like a clean break. So it was something we had to monitor seriously. And like I said, it was frustrating, because of me, like I love the game, so every bit of it, like I love to embrace myself in it.
And then throughout the season, did it just progressively get worse, or did it or was there a game or a moment where it was like, okay, now this is really bad?
Iowa. So we went into Iowa week. I felt fine. I forgot what play we called, but I ran a route and I just knew. I was like, okay, this is bad, like really bad. I finished the game, and after the game, I talked to the staff, I talked to my coaches. I sat them down. I was like, hey, this is getting bad. I think we need to take a look. I got X-rays. That's when I found out I had refractured it. My tibia, I refractured it. And then Michigan State game, I tore my meniscus on, I had got tackled. And when I got up, it felt weird, and I didn't know, because I've never torn a meniscus. So I went to the sideline, I explained it all to him. We got an MRI, I think like 2 days after, and found out it was a torn meniscus.
And I mean, I've never torn anything in my knee, so pardon me for asking this, but does it feel? I'm assuming that feels a lot different than when you tear your ACL. Because like when you tear your ACL, you're probably, I mean, we've seen the guys go down, but like tear your meniscus and then you keep freaking playing.
It actually didn't bother me at first. Like when I had first did, I just felt a pop in my knee, and they checked me out for the ACL. They said it was fine, but some ligaments in your knee you can tear and keep playing. Like even some ACL tears, like depending on how bad the tear is, you can like sometimes some people can keep playing because everybody's body's different. Like everybody's body reacts like differently, you know, to like certain things. So it just depends on who you are, man.
And then as far as the future goes, do you know when surgery could potentially be? I know you're not positive that you're going to have it. And then what would be the timetable for that?
So we're aiming for the 12th of January of this month. So we're aiming for the 12th. It was supposed to be sooner, but it got pushed back due to COVID. So yeah, we're aiming for the 12th. And then if I need surgery in my other leg, we're probably going to do that a month apart. So we'll probably do the next surgery February 12th.
And I don't believe that those ones would be super like, it wouldn't be like an Achilles or anything like that. What would be the timetable for that? Do you know that?
So I would rough guess. I would probably say about 2 to 6 months, 3 to 6 months. Nothing crazy. But just to give my bone time to heal, you know, just I wanna take as much time as I need possible. You know, I don't wanna, because I felt like when I had came back, when I had transferred to Purdue in June, I was so excited. Like I didn't really get to gauge myself and see where I was at. I just went straight in. Like I was so excited to get back out there and play, man. Like because I had missed the whole season of last year, so it was just a lot of emotions. So I didn't really take my time as I should have. But this year, I'm definitely gonna take my time.
Yeah, and I'm all for that. We need you next year, dude. And I want to talk about kind of the whole year at Purdue in a minute here, but going into that Tennessee game, how much did that mean to you? I know you kind of talked about it with, I mean, just putting on for Jackson Anthrop. How much did that game mean to you and you wanted to be out there?
It meant everything to me. One, because we were down some guys due to whether it was injury or other stuff. You know, we were down a few guys, and I just like I wanted to fill that role, and I wanted to do it not for myself, but for, like I said, Jackson. Like me and Jackson have grown really close over this, like just the course of me being here for like, what has it been, 4 months, 5 months? Like I've been here for such a short period of time, and I've grown such a fond respect for him and just who he is as not even as a player, but as a person. Like he's just a great guy. He's a great dude to be around. So I just felt like not that I owed him, but I felt like in a way I did owe him, like to go out there and put my body on the line for him, because he's just such a stand-up guy. Like he's been here for 4+ years. He bleeds gold, black and gold through and through. Like, so yeah, I just felt like he deserved a bye with a win. And I just felt like that if I played, I felt like that we had a better chance of winning, you know? So.
And then how hard of a decision was that? Did you have to sit down with the coaches and be like, hey, I can actually go do this? Did you have to convince them at all? Or were they like, okay, Broc, this one's up to you?
So I actually wasn't going to play. A lot of people don't know that. I had went and saw the trauma surgeon that was doing my surgery, and he recommended me not to play. So I called my coach and I said, hey, I don't think I'm going to play. And I sat down with my dad and talked to him, and he was like, well, like, it can't get any worse. I mean, you've been playing like this all year. He was like, but it's your decision. So I prayed about it, you know, and we were going to the airport, and I had told Jackson, I grabbed him and I was like, hey man, I was like, I don't know how long I'll be out there with you. I was like, but I'm gonna play. I was like, all right. I was like, I'm gonna give you everything I got. I was like, and the only way I'm gonna leave the field is if they carry me on a stretcher. And he looked at me, he was like, I appreciate you. You know, like I could tell how much that meant to him, you know, like for him to see like that one of his brothers is actually like willing to put it all out there for him. And, you know, like I said at the game, I'm willing to do that over and over again for him, you know. And it's not just for him. We have many other seniors that I respect and love. Tyler Witt, he's one of the O-linemen I grew close with. He's a transfer from West Kentucky. And we kind of shared similar backgrounds when it comes to football. Coming from the Conference USA, I played at Marshall. He played at West Kentucky, and he's also a great dude. So like they're all just great guys, man. Like not even just seniors, the whole team. Like we're actually a family, and I feel like not just per se just so I didn't play just for Jackson, like, but for everybody, you know, because like we hadn't won 9 games since when 2003. Yeah, and that's history, you know. Like I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to be a contributor to that, and like I said, I would do it. I would do it over again tomorrow if I could, you know. So,
Well, I mean, over the course of that game, it felt like you'd make a catch or missed a catch. I don't want to bring that up, but I mean, okay, but you'd like be down on the ground, and I'm like, dude, I don't know how the hell he keeps getting up and wanting to go back out. It felt like you went down and you were down, like, you're like, okay. And then you got back like 5 or 6 times. Yeah,
it was rough, man. But God pulled me through. Thank God. He pulled me through, definitely. And I just kept thinking about just finishing. The only thing I kept saying is finish. Like that's why I kept hitting the ground when I scored. I was like, finish. Because I was in a lot of pain. I was in a lot of pain. There was one play where I thought I was gonna be done. I ran a dig route and I slipped, and then I got back up and he threw it and I missed the ball. And I kind of sat there for a little bit because it's kind of like a throbbing pain. Mm-hmm. That's kind of when I started to feel it, and I felt it, and it was very painful. So I went to the tent. I was talking to the trainer, and he was like, hey, we got to be careful with this. And I was like, no, I'm good. And I tried to run out, and he grabbed me, and he was like, Broc, like, we can't play with this because you can break your leg. And he was like, if it hurts, then you have to tell me. And I was like, no, I'm good. So I went back out there, and I was fighting, man. I looked up at the score every time, and we were just so close. And I just knew, like, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I would, but in a sense, like, I would be frustrated with myself if I were to stop playing and say the game was close and God forbid we didn't win. And I know, like, I could have affected the game maybe in a positive way for us to get the win. So I just had to keep fighting. Like, us going into that game, I think we set a cap. I was only gonna play like 30 plays. That was out of the door in the first quarter. So, you know, I just kept rolling with it. I trusted in God. I had faith, you know, that he was gonna cover me in his blood and keep me safe out there. So I just kept rolling with it.
Well, yeah, going back to Tyler Witt and Jackson, the 2 guys you brought up, I think it was the first touchdown. Those were the first 2 guys to
down there. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how that works out.
It is. Those are my guys, man. Not just them, like the whole offense. Like I've grown close with everybody. Eric Miller, Payne, Garrett Miller, King Doveru, Aiden, of course, Jack when he was here. A lot of them, bro. I can name the whole offense, you know. I'm not gonna get into that, but like it's all love with those guys. Like we talk outside of football, like here and there. I'm not gonna say we hang out every day or anything like that, but we talk outside of football. Like when we see each other, we stop and talk. It's not just a high and by, you know. Like the feelings are all like genuine. It's all mutual. It's not just a football team. Like I really consider those guys like family to me, you know. So that just makes it more. It makes it easier to go out there and like put your body on the line. I was the only one that did it. Like we had a few guys that played with the flu, like a few guys sick, like sick as a dog. Like Payne was sick, Garrett Miller was sick, and they came out there and fought. Like those type of things didn't get looked at or talked about, but like I know that. So like that motivated me even more to go out there and like, okay, like I see my brothers are also out there struggling too. I got to go out there and fight for them, like just like they're fighting for me, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's special, dude.
I'm sorry to cut you off. It really is, man, to have a group like that, like of people like that are actually coming together to win football games, you know, and for each other. It's not any selfishness. There's no egos. Like we all just want to play for other and win. That's why I feel like next year is gonna be special. Like we got a lot of people coming back, a lot of people coming back, and it's that culture. You know, we have that. It's the fire and the want, you know, to want to get the win. You know, like we had, like I said, like not even just painting gear. We had so many people playing with injuries, like so many people bumped up, bruised up, and it was a bowl game. You know, like we could have went out there and just like, oh, it's a bowl game. You know, like it's not, it doesn't count. But our whole mentality that week, like Coach Brown, like said, like this isn't an exhibition game. This counts, you know, like we're playing for something. And like he said, like the seniors deserve to go out with a win. And we were fired up about it, you know. We wanted to get those guys a win, and I felt like we came out, you know, and performed well.
And that brings up my next point, actually. The whole opt-out controversy, obviously. I mean, for me, I'm not in that locker room, but I respect like David and George. Obviously, they're going to go on to make millions of dollars. You can't fault them for opting out of a bowl game, you know. But I mean, there's a lot of people in the media that are like, oh, all these people are opting out of bowl games. They're soft. All this, all that. What do you kind of make of all that's been made of the?
So I know David personally. I know George. I wouldn't say personally, but like I've talked to George many times. We've had conversations outside of football, and it's a thing about you don't know where these kids come from. You don't know their life story. You don't know the backgrounds. You don't know what they deal with off the field. Like I feel like a lot of people forget sometimes that we're not just athletes. Like we're 20, 21, 22-year-old young men that have lives outside of football. We have family that we need to take care of. We have things that we need to get done in our lives. So like, for them to opt out, like we were all fully for it, like the whole team. Like we all totally understand. Like they have stuff they need to get done. Like, and if they were to come out and play the game, I feel I would have, like I told David, if he would have played, I would have been upset. Like I would joke with him, like, okay, stand up the year. Like we would always joke. I would always try to just throw stuff at him. Like, man, you gotta stand up the year. Like we can win the national championship. But I would always play with him like that. But in all seriousness, like I have nothing but respect for people that opt out. I have nothing but respect for them because they're thinking about their future. You know, like say God forbid they did play in the game and they got hurt. That's like I said, you don't know his story. You don't know like what's going on behind the scenes. Like you don't know like, you know, his life. So he needs to do that. Like not just him personally, but like people need to do that, you know, so they can take care of their families, you know. So you gotta play it safe. Like it might seem selfish to some people, but it's not, you know, because that's his career. Like you like me, it's different. Like I wasn't going regardless because I was hurt all year, so I got to get surgery, and my dream has always been to win a national championship. So that's my personal goal, you know. But for those people that opted out, like I don't see a problem with it at all, you know, because they have to think about their careers like long term, like. And it is a risk every time you do touch a football field. Every snap is a risk, like, you know, like whether you get injured or God forbid something bad happens, you know. So, like I said, I have nothing bad to say about people who opt out. I totally respect it. And at the end of the day, man, it's just like, you know, you gotta make it for you, you know, because at the end of the day, like, no, you don't get mentioned with anybody else. Like they talk about you specifically, you know, like they don't try to party you in. Like you don't go into it with two people. It's just you by yourself. So at the end of the day, you got to think about what's best for you, you know.
100%. And I don't know if this is true of David, but I'm sure there's countless guys that grew up in a single parent household. They don't have a whole lot of money and they need to go to the NFL to provide for them and their family. So that's not selfish at all, in my opinion. But yeah, like, I don't know. You look at what happened to Matt Corral. Matt Corral easily opted out, snapped his leg. It's like, and then Jalen Smith, he probably missed out on God knows how much. He would have been a top 5 pick.
Yeah, that probably would have been the first. But it goes both ways. Like Jerry Jeudy, 2 years ago when he played against Michigan in the Orange Bowl, like he could have opted out, but he played. Like it goes both ways, you know. Like some people decide not to, some people do. It's just a risk you take, man. Like it's just like life. Like every day you take a risk. Like whether you're like walking down the stairs, walking down the street, you can slip and fall. like break your arm, something. Like it's a risk, man. Like so, you have to pray about it. You have to go with your family, see how they feel, and then you got to make that personal decision. Like just like me, like I could have chose not to play or to play. Like should I have played? Probably not, but I did, and thank God I made it through the game safely. But like you said, Corral, he easily could have opted out. He probably was a first round pick. I hope he still is. I hope everything works out for him. I commend him for playing for his teammates. Not opting out. But like I said, even if he would have opted out, I still respect it because, like I said, that's a personal decision. Because of, like you said, like his background. You don't know, like he has people to take care of. Like he wants to start his life, like whatever it is. People have their own preferences. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a consensus pretty much. But then you got these big name people kind of ripping on guys for opting out, and then it becomes this whole thing. And
it's all perspective, man. Like my dad played 18 years in MLB. So like back in the day, like there wasn't, no one, that was never a thought, like opting out or anything like that. And like my dad always shows me like all his broken fingers and how he can move his knee, how it's not attached to anything. Like, so it's all perspective, man. Like the past generations of sports, not even just football, like it was grit, tough, like the 80s, the Detroit Pistons, like that just style of play, not even just in basketball, but in sports in general. Like it's all changed, like, and now you got kids coming out at 19, 20 years old who started college early. Like these are young kids, like not even legal to go to a club or a bar. Like, and they're making life-changing decisions. So like I said, I hold nothing against those guys. I have respect for George and David, and I love those guys. I talk to David here and now probably every other day, and I talked to George a few times when he's came back since he opted out. And like I said, nothing but love and respect for those guys. I can't wait to see them on Sundays and Mondays, and Thursdays. So I'm excited.
That's gonna be wild because I they got all the tools to be perennial Pro Bowlers and make a huge difference. Just
being on the same field with those guys, just watching them work. They're first class guys. Like I'm not talking about athletes, they're first class men. Like they're good people to be around. And those are, in my opinion, those are the best. Like those are the best players. Like they're genuinely good people, at heart. Like just talking to David, like he's just a lot of people don't know. He's a good human being. Like. Like he's a great football player, but it just makes him look even better. Like he's a class act. Like he stays after. He's the first one there. Like he's just a great dude. And the same with George. Like just a class act, both of them.
And then, you obviously you talk highly of your teammates. What does it feel to be a part of that like family culture? I was talking about this with I think it was Jackson actually. Purdue just feels like it's more together than maybe a Michigan or a Bama or a IU, Ohio State, just because like a lot of the people that are Purdue fans like actually went to Purdue. It's not you go, oh, I'm from California, but I like Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What I wouldn't say because I can't speak on that just because I'm not in those programs. I'm not in those locker rooms. So I personally don't know how those teams operate, but I know Purdue personally, like we're a very, like I spoke on earlier, we're a very tight group. Like it's a lot of love. We all care about each other. Like we every time like we're out, like outside of football, like we always make sure we're all good. Anything each other need, we're always there. Like we have group chats. Like time people need a ride, food, anything. Like we're always there for each other. So I can personally speak for Purdue. Like like we're really close. Like I said, I consider them all family. Like for sure.
What has the reception been like after the Tennessee game by all the Purdue fans?
Man, I tweeted out, we have the best fans in the nation. That wasn't just me saying that. I really feel like that. Our fans are amazing. I've never experienced anything like it. No, not Marshall, because Marshall fans are always amazing. The 75 gone forever, and I will always be a part of that. But Purdue fans are amazing, man. Like through thick and thin. I remember we were playing Minnesota, and it was a rough game for me personally. And we didn't play our best that game, and the weather was really bad, and our fans are still out there cheering as loud as possible. Like our fans are amazing, man. Like Northwestern, our fans came out, packed the house. All the away games that were within reach, like our fans are there. Like you can see them. It's not just bits and pieces. Like you can look in the crowd and see where the Purdue fans are, and they're loud and proud, man. I love our fans. The reception after the game, it's been crazy, man. I've had a lot of fans DM me. I love the love, you know. I'm a loving person, and I love people who genuinely care. Like I've gotten a lot of messages, a lot of like heartwarming messages like that, are just like good games. Like people actually like saying so like a lot of stuff that's like you can tell it's like genuine, you know. So that's always good to have from fans, you know.
And then what has this season been like for you coming in, like you said, transferring from Marshall? And then, I mean, being a part of one of the most special seasons in program history.
I can't put it in words, man. It's surreal. I grew up probably about 4 minutes from Davis High School. I've been in Wayne Township, K through 12, and just growing up seeing like all the guys ahead of me go to Purdue or IU or local teams, and we've always had this saying, "The best stays home." You know, like so it's a personal thing for me. Like one to like protect, but in a way like put on for Indiana, like as a state, you know, and for my city, Indianapolis, 317 where I'm from, and like it's a pride thing, you know. Like we always get to knock that Indiana's not a football state. And we play basketball, which is true. We are a basketball state. We also do play football. We've had a lot of great guys come through here to state of Indiana, a lot of them. And I feel like that's overlooked in a sense because we play football down here. We definitely do, especially in the MIC conference. I can't speak on the other conferences because I didn't play in those, but me personally, the MIC, I feel like is one of the best high school football conferences in the country. And that was, like I said, that was just a pride thing for me. But transfer from Marshall to here, it was a jump because I was 4 hours, now I'm 45 minutes from home, so it's a big difference. Like I can go home now, see my family. And when I first got in, it was like I said, I was filled with a lot of emotions because I was ready to play, like mentally, like spiritually, I was all in it. I was ready, but my body wasn't all the way there. I tried to rush it. And they told me to take my time, but me being who I am, I want to, like, you know, I get impatient sometimes when it comes to the football because I played football for so long and I genuinely love the game. So as soon as they told me I was cleared, I was ready. Like I didn't want to wait at all. Like I was out there running. Like it was tough though because I had to turn it back a little bit because I started having some pain again in my legs before the season, and like the guys were there though. Like that's how I feel like we grew so close. Like the guys were there for me the whole season, picking me up, you know, telling me like, hey man, like take your time. Like we're behind you on this. Like and that's what made it like even more special to be a part of this because like I said, it's really a group of guys that like really care, you know, like we're all together. And I feel like that's what has made it that was probably the most special thing about this team, like how close we were, like on offense and defense, like the locker room, always, all you hear is laughing and people playing it and like coursing with each other. Like it's amazing, man. It was a blessing to be a part of this. Like it was definitely a blessing, but we definitely have more in store next year. It is going to be a special year next year for Boiler Nation.
No doubt. One of my favorite things is I have David Bell on Snap, and he always posts those videos of Jackson, and they're hilarious.
Yeah,
What's up with him?
Him and Jackson, man, they are two peas in their pod. Like they are like when I first got here, you could already tell. So in our meeting rooms, they sit next to each other and they're always messing with each other, like always touching each other, making jokes. Like those two guys are hilarious, man. Like our whole receiver room, like we're all my Marshall receiver room, I'm very close with those guys. I still talk to those guys, a lot of them every other day. But like my Purdue receiver room, we're just as close. Like we all talk to each other outside. We all hang out. Like we're really close, man. Like really close.
I mean, once you're removed from your Purdue career, what game do you think you're going to look back on most fondly from that first year? I mean, you could go I mean, there's the four that jump off the page to me, obviously Iowa, Michigan State, and then IU routing them, and then this Tennessee. Is the Tennessee game going to be the one that you look back on most fondly, you think?
That's a hard question. I want to say the Tennessee game just because of the perseverance of it, me just fighting through it the whole game and just like how the whole team fought to the very end. Like that was a great team win. Like we had a lot of guys step up. Like our O-line played amazing, tight ends played amazing, running backs played amazing, Aiden played amazing. Our defense got stops when we needed them. Like they played great. But it'll probably be the Tennessee game. Just because my little brother was there. He didn't get to come to a lot of games, and he, as you know, that's why I wore 29 this year. So for him to come to that game, and see me actually play, it was special, man. It was definitely special.
Dude, there's no way you weren't succeeding with him in the building. There's no way. You know what I'm saying?
And it's crazy. Every game I played good, he was there. It's kind of crazy. And another thing is that it's kind of also crazy. So my brother played Ohio State, played basketball, and every game I scored this year, I visited those places sometime throughout my life. It's kind of weird. I visited Michigan State my junior year on a visit with a few of my high school teammates. Reese Taylor was there. I visited Michigan. I visited Ohio State. Like I said, my brother was there on his official visit. I got a picture with Urban Meyer and Braxton Miller on his official visit. Yeah, it's crazy. And then Tennessee, when I came out of prep school before I went to Marshall, I went on an unofficial visit to Tennessee. So it's kind of weird, kind of creepy. How all those
it's playing out.
Yeah, everything plays out for a reason, man. You just gotta trust and believe. Like that's one thing. Like I want my imprint to be left on the game. Like whether I have a long career in NFL or not. Like I just want people to know that like you can persevere through anything. You always gotta. But if you don't believe in yourself, then nobody's gonna believe in you. You gotta be willing to bet on yourself every time. Like whatever you do, whether it's school, tic-tac-toe, like you got to be willing to know and believe and trust in your abilities that you're gonna win. So that's one thing I want to be remembered as, someone that believed in themselves no matter what.
Well, you're definitely going to be remembered for that. Before we hop off here, I mean, you already brought it up a little bit, but next year, I've been a Purdue fan my entire life. This is the most excited I've been for Purdue football ever. I mean, the future's so bright. What's the kind of feeling amongst the guys in the locker room going into next year?
We're all ecstatic. If try to use a big word, we are all very, very happy, very excited. There's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of as we call it, juice, energy. Like we're all ready, like because we know that was just like a taste. 9-4, great season. But that, like I said, that was just a taste. We have the ability, we have the players, we have the best coaching staff in the nation. Like we are headed in the right direction, full steam on that train. Like we're ready to go into next season, and we're ready. We are ready.
1,000%. How fun is it to play in Jeff Brom's offense? I want to ask you that too.
Amazing. He's a maestro. Like he's like how can I put this? He has such a great mind for the game of football. Like he just draws stuff up, and it just looks right. Like you don't even like before he even says anything, it looks like it makes sense. Like his mind for the game of football is amazing. He's a great leader. He's a great guy. Like I talk to him a lot. And that's just a guy you want to go out and play for. Like I feel like that's another reason it makes the offense work, because we all believe in what he calls. Like no matter what it is, we believe in what he calls, and when he calls it, we all want to go get it done.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't have said it better myself. I'm gonna wrap this up. We went a little over time, so apologize for that. But
man,
hey,
all good.
Thank you so much for coming on. I had a lot of fun, and I mean nothing but the best to you going forward, both personally and on the football field.
I thank you for having me on here. It's been a blessing, for you to get on here and talk with you, man. I hope to see you next season. in the stands, at the games. But it's gonna be special. 2022 next season for the Purdue Boilermakers is gonna be a season to remember, definitely.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
You too, man. Peace.
Peace out.